All set.
Alrighty, we'll start with the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of the agenda. Anything to add, subtract, multiply, divide? Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor? The agenda. Public forum? Do you have a copy of the agenda?
No.
We have,
Yep, I got some right here, Tom. I'll get some.
I do have something from a neighbor.
yeah, I do too.
Just a quick question. So, pretty sure that Roger had mentioned this to me, but on Liberty Acres, I know he's done like one side of the shoulder. They're planning on finishing and doing the other side of the shoulder, aren't they?
Yes.
See, where the curve is, there's a driveway that continues on right at the curve, and there's quite a step there, and she was concerned that, and I said, as far as I know, it's all gonna get filled in, but I just wanna make sure.
I'll follow up with him, but he was doing some of those shoulder work and then stopped because it was so hot, he didn't want to crush the side of the pavement,
okay.
so I'm sure he's going to get back here, but I'll follow up with him.
I'm pretty sure he was, but.
Okay. Approval of the minutes for August 8th.
Motion we approve is written.
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Oh, actually, I'll abstain, I wasn't here. Committee and board reports? I think we already have the report on the cost sharing committee. It's over, it's done for the next 4 years, it stays the same. Okay, managers, oh, I got that, that was under A.
It's all right.
Cost sharing meetings and status,
You already
that's
took
it.
care of it. Thank you, Bella.
Bids for compactor container.
Yeah, just to let you know that the bids have gone out. We anticipate those bids to be back on September 9th. So at that, business meeting on the 12th, we'll be able to take a look at what we have there. The sheriff's office evidently puts together a second quarter report. I have it here. I sent you a copy. If anybody wishes to look at it, from what I gather, the report is put together for the commissioners, and he is now taking it upon himself to send it out to all the municipalities as well. So if anybody's interested in looking at it, I got a copy, and if you want me to email it to you, I will. So. We have learned that we will be able to return to the ML Day School for our meetings beginning of the school year, which is September 6th, when school starts. So after that, Simone's already coordinated our meetings there. We will continue to be in the old library until sometime in October, as I understand. They're ready to accommodate us, and I guess the summer was when they really wanted to get a lot of people out of there so they could do some construction. But we've been told that we don't have to return our chairs to ML Day because they have new chairs, so we'll find out what that's about. But
We gotta test them.
Yeah. Yeah.
we can certainly repurpose these chairs. I mean, we have a need for them in the town hall, believe me. So.
Oh, yes, I know, some of those meetings.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we've had meetings upstairs where some of those chairs you were afraid to sit in because you were afraid you were gonna tip over, so I'm sure we can.
Last Thursday, the military truck was delivered to us at the Public Works garage. I guess it came in at 6:30, 7 o'clock, according to Roger. Fortunate that we were able to get somebody to truck it up here, so it's nice that it's here. They had it in the garage today. I can't believe it's just 2.5 tons, it's so friggin' big. It's hard for me to imagine it's just 2.5 tons, but they'll start working on that and putting, from what I understand, Roger says he'll take the body off, put a sander on the frame, and then do something with wing and plow to go on that truck. And depending on timing, we'll see if we get it ready for the first snow that will be here in what, October? No.
Is it as expected, is it in good shape as expected?
And you know something, I looked at it today, I gotta tell you, it's probably better than I thought it was going to be.
Good.
I would challenge you to go find a piece of rust on it. It doesn't look like it's seen a winter. According to Roger, he doesn't think it ever left the country, so it was something that was probably in the United States for its life. It has 5,800 original miles on it, so pretty big bang for your buck, I think.
Yeah. Has it been coated for salt and sand?
I'm not sure what they're going to do in terms of undercoating and that kind of thing. With the last truck we got from the state, they completely took that apart and undercoated the frame, redid the cab, and put it all back together. So I don't think this one's going to be necessarily going to need that kind of use.
Is it as funny looking as our other one?
Yeah.
I mean, you really know that's a town truck when you see it come down the road, because there isn't anything else around that looks like that.
This is a cab over design,
Yeah.
so it's you know,
Yeah.
it's going to be a little bit different looking, but it's certainly pretty big and strong. I tell you that.
Good job for Roger for
Good,
finding
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Keep looking at that site, it's good.
Well, I think there's a lot of that stuff available. So if there's a need that comes up, I know that he was looking for those old pickup trucks and the 1 tons, which are now starting to dry up. And we have a bunch of them, so he may see him coming back to go this way again at some point. It appears to talking with Roger and some quick observations of mine, it appears that the culvert on Downing Road is going to be done as they expected on around the 25th. The culvert's in place, all the coffer dams have been removed, the riprap is being placed, and they're working on putting the material over the top of the culvert. I haven't been down today, so I don't know how many more inches they got there. They're anticipating on either Wednesday or Thursday of this week to have the guide rails in place. Roger and I talked while the company was there. There was a couple spots on Downing Road that were failing, and we thought that we had the necessary funding. We thought that while they were there, they could grind it and take away the clay that we know is there. So they're going to be doing that. We don't think it's going to hinder the project being completed by the 25th. So there's a couple spots, I think, about the longest is about 110, 150 feet. So he wants to get that wrapped up, and then we'll let it set put the base coat on, let it set for a year, and then hopefully come back next year and resurface stuff. I think his plan is to do the entire Downing Road at that time, so I'll be part of that project. So looks good.
All right, wonderful. In old business.
Yes, engineering firm for the Route 1 preliminary engineering study. As you know, back in in May, we had the town planner put out a request for qualifications to solicit folks. We also at that time appointed a sewer advisory committee. Sam Hull is on it, myself, along with Roger Tasho and Tad Redway were appointed to the committee. On the first, the RFQs were out. We had 7 vendors come to the informational meeting. And then on the 27th of June, we had 4 proposals that were provided to us. Each one of the committee members received the proposals, had a way to evaluate them, and we put together a short list of, in that time, we had 4 that gave us the final, but we thought there were 3 that were comparable engineering firms that we'd like to interview. On the 9th, we conducted 3 50-minute interviews with each one of those companies. And after that, we all went our separate ways and evaluated each one of the companies for presentation, for content. And quite frankly, for me, and I welcome Sam to weigh in if he wants to, for me it was not only the presentation, but their ability to communicate very effectively with us. At the end of the day, we all came back and sent emails to me as to what they felt was the recommended group. Out of the committee, we came up with the conclusion that we would appreciate the appointment of Wright Pierce engineers to conduct our preliminary study review for us. We found that their presentation was very thorough. They had done a lot of homework. They had provided not only one view of going to Pentagon Sewer District, but they provided other options and things for us to think about. If in fact the committee, the selectmen decide to appoint Wright Pierce this evening, it will be our intent to get together with those parties and try to narrowly focus down what we're looking for in this preliminary assessment. I think it's vital. We're not looking for that engineering concept right now. We're looking at options that may be available to us and the cost of those options, so we can be better informed as to what's the best alternative for us. So I thought it went well, and Sam was part of it. Sam, what did you think?
Having spent 20 years of my life as an engineer consultant, responding to proposals just as we asked them to do to us, I had some insight into what they were doing and how they were approaching our project.
I was very impressed, and I think Keith was too, with Wright Pierce, who had done a lot of work on their own to put a good proposal together. As you know, time is money. They invested money in putting a good proposal to us. The other firm that was a contender also had a very strong project manager nominated, but I felt, and I think Keith agrees and the others did as well, had not devoted enough importance to what I think is the very critical question of where is the stuff going to go? Kennybunk, Biddeford, or do we start our own? And that is to me the critical element as to, it has to be addressed first. Wright Pierce did an excellent job on saying, we think this is the most important thing and we're going to devote a good number of man hours to it. The other contender, not so much. So.
Thanks, Sam. So that's our recommendation to the board, to hire Wright Pierce as our consulting engineers for the preliminary engineering study for the Route 1 sewer project.
For what amount?
It's negotiable. They gave us they gave us a snapshot of what they thought a series of projects or a series of work would be for them, and they gave us their cost to provide that. I wouldn't sugarcoat it. They're probably the most expensive firm, but we felt that what they were bringing to the table and how we can manage that would be far better than any of the other firms that were there.
And is this coming from TIF money?
Yes, and not only TIF money, but we also allocated $15,000 this year to kick it off, and because we didn't know, and we've got some good news with the setting of the tax rate tonight. Later on, we see that we're going to start capturing some of that TIF money this coming cycle. So I think we're going to be in good shape. We know we got limitations on dollars, and we'll keep that narrowly focused until we get a preliminary proposal in front of you.
So, I wouldn't mind making a motion, but we need to cap it you know, to me, I think we need to cap it at a dollar amount somewhere, so I'm not sure what the proposal was for dollar wise.
They came in at 44,000, somewhere around that neighborhood. I think the next firm was at 28.9, I believe, or 28.8, when that neighborhood.
But you said they wouldn't be doing all of that?
No, they're not. This was a request for qualifications. They provided the dollar amounts,
Yeah.
but we were more important about looking at what they were gonna bring to the table for us. And again, I think Sam feels the same way I do, that we can control the cost by keeping our focus very narrow of what we want them to do, and staying in contact with them to ensure that that work gets done.
This is not a lump sum, in other words, this is a contract to do work, and we control how much work they do, and also control when to cut them off. We may not go the whole way, I mean, I don't know.
So if you wanna cap it, that's fine with us. You know, I have no objections to that. We have 15 in the budget. It appears through the tax rate setting, we're gonna have another 28. So 15 and 28 is what?
43.
33?
43.
If you wanna cap it at that, I don't think we're gonna get any close to it, but that would be my suggestion if you wish to cap.
Make that motion.
For 43?
Yeah.
Okay,
Second.
all right. Motion's been made and seconded for 43. Any more discussion? So it's up to? Up to.
Yep, and we use Wright Pierce engineers and capped it up to 43, no more than 43.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Thank you, guys.
Okay, well,
So, do we have a time frame, a rough time frame on that? When we, you know, if you were to turn them on tomorrow, when would we expect to start to see something?
No, we didn't get into that too much with them.
No, the first thing that we talked about that needs to be done is have discussions first with Kennybunk Sewer District, and their trustees to see whether it's possible to have it go that way.
So
And this
the
is
discussion,
engineering work.
us or Wright?
Wright Pierce
Wright
would do
Pierce
that.
would do that,
They will
yeah.
Right,
do that
guys would
for
do
us.
it with us, I mean.
Yeah, we'll be involved in that. but
Others
they'll
will be involved. Yes, but that should start tomorrow.
And it's key, because they're already moving on their expansion, so
Yes. Yes.
I wanna make sure we don't lose out on
Well,
that.
there's a lot of politics as well as engineering aspects to this, as I'm sure you're aware. So, the sooner the better on that.
okay. And no more old business? Let's go to new business. An application for a catering function?
Yes, as I understand, the chamber will be holding a dinner meeting, I guess it's their annual dinner meeting at the Motorland on September 15th. And they have submitted through their caterer a request for approval for their function.
Okay, could I,
I'm moving to put the application for creative function for the Kennebunk Board of London Chamber of Commerce.
do we have a second? All right, all in favor? All right, we have the original. There we go. And an application for a mass gathering permit from the Arundel Historical Society.
Yes, that as well as a copy is in your packet for that. It appears that their function will be taking place on September 17th, starting at 10. Not only are they requesting the approval of permit but I also believe they're requesting a waiver of the $50 application fee.
They're so cheap.
Well, if you'd like to donate the $50 to
I was
cover the
waiting
fee,
for that
we'd be
one.
very happy to take that.
I make a motion, we approve the mass gathering permit along with the $50 waiver.
Okay, any more discussion? Since I'm a member, I will abstain. All in favor? Okay, let's get down to the,
I'll let you pass that one.
all right, there you go.
Hope it doesn't rain this year.
It was beautiful
Did you
last
pull a
year.
bunch of people out one year?
First
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
Yeah,
Was it the first?
yeah,
year?
first year, that was our LL Bean boot year. And everybody ended up wearing yellow bean boots, pushing people out of the mud. I have pictures. We still had a good time, but,
Rick's been on vacation for 2 weeks.
yeah.
Work to do. At home. But I didn't do it. 2 weeks, no, I didn't.
Oh, we don't try to crap. That's all.
Okay, let's get down to the fun stuff, the tax rate setting.
Yes, I provided to you a memo this evening outlining a position relative to the establishing of the tax rate. The in your memo, I also provided to you the 2016 municipal tax rate calculation standard form that provides options as to where you would be relative to the funding that's required. Before I get to what I'd be proposing for a rate, I want to say that I was pleasantly surprised that we were able to pick up over $10 million worth of new valuation here in the community, which is a significant impact for us, and it really helps us keep the rate down. If you recall, during the budget process, I was, the best calculation we had was maybe 3 to 4 million, so we were computing it based on that. So that adjustment makes a huge change for us, because I believe I was looking at $15.46 a thousand based on just my preliminary studies at the time. I'm happy to say that at this particular point, I would be recommending to you a $15.12 tax rate, which will be 17 cents above what it was last year. It will be an adjustment of 1.14% from the rate before, and I provided to you, for people that really like to know what the rate would be happening, what would happen with your, how much your taxes would go up. So I've given that to you. So typically a house of $150,000 would see an increase in their taxes by $25.50 over what they pay today. The also interesting thing is that we're now gathering a little bit more money for our tax increment and financing plan, which I thought was very, very nice. And how that breaks down right now, from what I can gather by speaking with Beth, is that if the rate is set at $15.12, we would be able to capture $127,493 in value, and that shows up under item 9 in your form. How that breaks down is $40,199.70 of that will go into the utility safety TIF. So that TIF, don't ask me why, because I asked Beth the same question. CMP has come back with more incentives or more value within the the safety TIF designation. They do that on their own, they provide that value to us, we took that value and just plugged it in. So when we do that, we're going from 26,000 and some change to 40,000. Very good, something that we think was going to be happening, so that's a nice thing. The remaining balance comes from the Arundel cottages. There's $87,293.30 that will be captured. Out of that, 67% of the 75% captured, which would be $486.51, will be to the development programs for the cottage, so it goes back to the company. The 33% of the 75, which is $28,806.79, will go into our account to assist us as we voted tonight with the preliminary plans for the TIF. So this also provides us an overlay of $6,907.19 at the 15-12 rate. Last year at $14.95, we were about $3,800 in our overlay. So we're up a little bit in overlay, but I was really tickled pink when I started looking at this. I was very excited that we were at 15-12, and I think it's a good rate. It is a little bit of growth there. We also are anticipating the fact that we may have some more expenditures depending on how our public forum goes in the future for approvals by the town meetings. So I think we're on a slow and steady increase depending on what the people decide, but this isn't 46 or 48% or 49 cents, 46 cents that I thought before. So pretty good rate.
Okay, do we have a motion on that?
So the overlay, you're comfortable with, Keith? I mean,
Yeah, when you talk to assessors, they think that overlay is there for abatements, but when you read the law and you talk to people, that overlay is there to round the rate. So I'm okay with it.
okay.
I think it's going to work for us.
Now, how much of a change would it be if the public voted to instantly increase police services and go on and take that second deputy?
Well, first off, if you guys wanted to do that before the next town meeting, then that money would have to come. You'd have to put together, frame a warrant article taking it from fund balance, because you're going to be setting your rate. If you wait, get your public forum data, move forward during the annual town meeting, I'd have to figure that out for you. I think first, when I did it the last time, it was like 33 cents per 1,000, but now that I have new value, I can sort of trim that down and tell you exactly what it will be based on the parameters that I know that the deputy will be for us.
Well, that would be a good number to have when we have the public hearing.
Yep.
How much of an overlay did we use last year? Any? Very little?
I don't think we used,
There was an abatement or two.
yeah.
Pardon?
We had a couple of abatements.
We had a couple of abatements.
Yeah.
Not big dollars, but.
No.
We had a large abatement of 51,000 from Mr. Freeman on Curtis Road. But that, over the 3-year period, was like $1,400, so it wasn't a lot of money. I think that was the biggest one we had.
I make a motion that we set the tax rate at 15.12.
I'll second it.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Okay. Now, I know it isn't on here.
1539.
Hmm?
Same, Keith, I was at 1539 on the estimate for the tax rate for this year, so 1512.
Very good.
You mean a budget then, John? You were turning around?
Sorry?
I
Yeah,
had the budget discussions?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we rely upon your numbers now rather than.
Yeah, you were at 1530, he was 1539, he was at 1546 or
Yeah.
1540 something, yeah.
When are we going to talk about the forms that we were given and a location for the new town hall? You said now we have somebody checking on another location on
I
this
think
one.
what I got from our last conversation
Yeah.
is that the selectmen really wanted to hear from the public forum discussion before they really broke down and started looking at that matrix and making a decision on that. I can tell you that the other lot that came up for discussion, I've spoken to the real estate agent who's covering it for the client. We're gonna meet again this week. I told him that depending on what we could do, we were looking at the front section of that. So we'd have some sort of frontage, or at least visual frontage to the Route 1 location. And I was very frank with him because he provided me a large sketch of what was there, and the last analysis done by Mr. Frick showed a lot of wetlands on that property, and something that really needs to be investigated. So I was a little concerned about that, and I expressed those concerns to the realtor today, in fact. So we're gonna be meeting next week, we'll take a look at it. He indicated to me that he has a number for me. He didn't provide it to me yet. I think he wants to meet with me to provide it. So as soon as I know, I'll let you know, but I did reach out to Will Conway. He's gonna be putting together the new numbers for the Route 1 site, taken into Mr. Palonden's property. I've asked him to provide me poster board size of this for the presentation, the public forum presentation. And I've asked him to be available and be there at the meeting in the event that technical questions come up on the presentation of the values that he has in here. So he's willing to do all that. So he'll be prepared for the 19th as well. I did reach out, change the subject just a little bit. Reached out to the sheriff and the chief deputy. They will be at the meeting as well. I've asked them to, update whatever statistical analysis they have and be prepared to ask questions, answer questions that the public have. I have fielded a lot of phone calls.
On police stuff?
On police stuff. And on, and not to that extent on the land stuff, but on police, it was more like, I would say, at least 2/3 of them were in favor of considering another deputy. I've encouraged them all to come to the meeting and express those views to you, because telling me on the phone is one thing, coming to the meeting and expressing them are another. So I've asked them to do that. I think only time will tell.
Okay.
And that's gonna be, when are we doing that?
September 19th.
So we'll be in fact in the library
Yes,
that
Yeah.
we've already booked that in the library. And we were able to get the arrow will be as a insert into the tax bills. We'll have the 2 stories on the front. We're going to have a story on hazardous waste days that we've finally confirmed today will be in October. They'll be on the back, along with, I think we'll fill in with some historical society
We have
information.
an update from school construction, hazardous waste day, heritage day, and we will, you're gonna put an article about the taxes.
Right, I wanna put something together on taxes so people understand what that is and get that all in there. So that'll go in the tax bill, so that'll be good for the public to get that.
Okay. And sign the payables warrant,
I moved.
second?
Second.
All in favor? Any other business?
Yeah, what about that letter that we got today? We did discuss that at all?
What line is that?
The
Yeah.
letter on the, from Dworkin?
I don't,
I've had several conversations with Mr. Dworkin. and so has it the code enforcement officer, so has it the developer of the project. I'm at,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just, did you see this letter?
I didn't see the letter he sent to you guys, but,
No, when did that come in?
I got it today.
I got it today too.
I probably,
It was attached to, it was addressed to Ms. Hayes.
oh.
can you send it to me via email, so I have it?
I will.
I'll put it in
I
file.
didn't have my email on this afternoon, so
I can just tell you that, you know, he initially started out that he felt that the code enforcement officer had shirked his responsibility back in 2011 and did not give good oversight onto his building. There were several things that were, in his view, that were wrong. Jim spoke with the developer, Shannon Baker. Shannon has corrected all those problems.
And were these problems as he was building, or did he buy this building?
As I understand, some of them were after he purchased it. And there were modifications within, as he was buying it, it was still being built, and then there were modifications that were done that, that certain fixtures or certain receptacles weren't put in the right location and that kind of thing. And we've determined that some of that was because there was add-on to the construction. Jim has been more than forthright in this whole process. The other issue that Mr. Dworkin had was with the road, and you know why the town isn't going to accept the road. And I explained to him the process and the procedure as I did with Mr. Roach. Stan Roach lives on that road as well. That as it's built right now, it does not meet the town's standard, and that if they move forward with a petition warrant article, which they have the right to do, that we as municipal officials, at least Roger and myself, the town planner, would say that we don't believe it's built to the standard that we would say that you would accept. The plan said that the road would always be private, but as you well know, as people come on and, you know, they see their taxes going up, they continue to wonder why their road isn't getting plowed. So those were the two issues. I haven't seen the most recent one that he sent. And I'd be quite frankly with you, I don't think he's somebody that we're gonna satisfy. We can try all we can, we will, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's gonna be satisfied with any response that we provide him.
So did somebody tell them that, who told them that it also faced an issue on our street in which we were told that upon completion of the ninth home within the development and the final paving of the road would then be taken over by the town? That doesn't.
We don't believe that's true.
I was
No,
gonna say,
that's never.
I've had some times where the realtors will tell people that
That's
as
probably
soon
what-
as the houses are all sold, that the town will take it over.
Yeah, that's not
And
the
we tell
process.
people, you can't, you
Yeah,
can't say
okay.
that, you know.
No, one of my first duties when I first got here was the road down there, because we spent a lot of time down there talking to the property owners, looking at what was built. Some of the underground drainage wasn't even built to anything that we could accept. I mean, that's the way we look at it. And you know, I take my lead from Roger, and then some of the piping is put on private property. And so I don't know how we can, if we accept it, how we can maintain that stuff. So there was a lot of issues there that I think if they wish to move forward, they would have to resolve, in my view, for us to try to accept it.
I'll forward this when I get back.
Okay,
I'll forward
thanks.
this to you, and I'll forward to everybody else.
You can have my copy.
It just for some reason,
probably
they
when I
went
turn the
to,
computer on in the morning, it'll come on.
Yeah,
thanks.
CHAs at
Yeah.
reddog.net.
No. That's why I didn't get it. We haven't had Red
And then I
Dog
went to
for
myself,
20 years.
Tom, and Phil.
Yeah?
I'll forward it to the latest address I have.
Yeah, I have seen.
Oh, Lord, no.
What time did I get this? 3:36 today.
Yeah, well, I wasn't on there anyway, but,
All for it.
okay.
Yeah, this is
Anything else?
basically the
Yeah,
latest.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
That's it? Second? Any more discussion? No? All in favor?
You guys are setting records.
It is. No, we've done this
You
in
have to
20
get back
minutes.
that big circle loose, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really glad the road's gonna be done on the 25th. I am
Yeah.
so sick of running the loop here.
yeah.
So Sam, where were you on that road?
The other side.
Oh, you want to shut,
Darcy's, Darcy's on.
Just
you want to
by
shut
the
your
river,
video?
almost at the river,
Oh, okay.
up the field.
Yep.